So I just got the iPad Pro and their new-ish Magic Keyboard in. So let's unbox this thing, tell you what you get in the box, and give you my initial impressions. Hello everyone, my name's Mike, and here at Tech Commune we uncover Apple tech and just tech in general. So if that's what you're into, hit that like button, as that does let YouTube know that's what you like. Anyway, let's jump straight into this thing. So the iPad Pro model that I went for is the 12.9 inch, and I went for the 128 gig. So that comes with the 8 gigabytes of unified memory with this new M1 chip. And because it's the 12.9 inch model, not the 11 inch model, this comes with the mini LED display. So very excited to try this out. And then the new-ish Magic Keyboard, because, well, the old one doesn't actually work with the new iPad Pro because it is a little bit thicker. So I ended up having to purchase one of these, and I had to get it in white just so it looks a little bit different from the old model. And Apple seems to be going for white everything at the moment, like on the iMac. So anyway, let's unbox the iPad Pro to start with. So to be fair, I don't actually need an unboxing knife because Apple make it super easy with this little tab just over here. So we'll just peel that. And that just fell away. And let's do the shuffle. Nice. Okay, so we've got the 12.9 inch iPad. So to be fair, I've never actually owned the 12.9 inch. And damn, this feels big. Definitely feels big for an iPad. So yeah, and then as you can see, we've pretty much got the same camera module and the smart connector and everything like that. I didn't go for the cellular model. The cellular model has 5G. And let's see what's in the box. So we get the standard literature, so iPad Pro, couple of Apple stickers, which is nice. And then we've got the charging brick. So because this is the UK model, if you have a look here, it's very different to you guys over in the States. So this one, if we just flick up, as you can see, it does that. So a little bit different to the ones in the States. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty normal. Just because I know a lot of you guys will go, what is this? And that's just the normal 3-pin UK plug. And then we've got the USB-C cable, which I literally have a million of those. So here is the iPad. Let's do the grand reveal. Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's huge. Still a fingerprint magnet on this thing. That literally hasn't changed. And does it feel heavier? I mean, it does feel maybe a little bit thicker, but nothing I would say feels that different, if I'm completely honest. So fired this thing up, and yeah, I mean, it looks like the normal screen, if I'm completely honest. But again, I'm not watching any HDR content or anything like that, or editing HDR content. In terms of the weight, it feels the same as the previous years. Again, the screen is still a little bit of a fingerprint magnet. I wish they would do something like that, but again, there are some really good screen protectors that help to mitigate that situation. But now let's pair it up with, let's just bin that. Let's pair it up with this Magic Keyboard and see the overall experience. Okay, so this one is very simple to open, or it was at least simple to open. Let's just tear into this thing anyway. Very nice. Let's do the classic shake. Okay. Oh, damn, that looks good in white. Let's open this up. Oh, I don't know why things in white just look really nice. So obviously we got the white keys and the trackpads, which, yeah, feels the same as before. To be honest, I'm not that surprised because it is all the same. It's just probably got a slightly stiffer hinge to handle the weight and size of the iPad. No stickers, obviously, with the Magic Keyboard, some literature, but nothing interesting indeed. All right, so feels pretty good. So now let's just pop the iPad Pro onto it. So let's just see. Yeah, I mean, still has the same limitations as before. Like I always wish it could just go up that little bit more, because sometimes on my lap, this angle, so if I just sort of show you on the side, so this angle just sometimes isn't quite enough. It always feels like I wish it would just go that little bit more, you know, but obviously now I'm potentially damaging it. But in terms of the overall package, yeah, it feels good. Now, does this feel heavier than my M1 MacBook Air? Yeah, it kind of does. And, you know, in terms of the keys, yeah, not bad. But again, you're using a smaller trackpad. I don't like the little pointer that's on this thing either. I don't want to judge it too quickly, because again, it's something that I don't use on a day-to-day basis. I haven't actually used an iPad or an iPad Pro for many, many years, if I'm completely honest. It's going to be interesting to try to implement this thing into my life for the next sort of, I don't know, month, maybe a bit more. Maybe I'll keep it for even longer than that. But yeah, I mean, in terms of everything, it doesn't look too bad. I don't know how this white is going to fare up, because as you can see, it's very, very white. But I know that Apple has always done a good job with the coatings of their keyboards, because even on black keys, you'll get some, you know, grubby marks and stuff like that on the actual keys. And the iPads and the Apple keyboards always seem to do really well over time. So I can't imagine the white sort of having any issues, but again, only time will tell. I actually forgot how small this little trackpad is, but again, this is an iPad. So that is the unboxing of the 12.9-inch iPad Pro and the Magic Keyboard. My initial impressions, yeah, it's a big display, obviously. I mean, I know that some of my friends have got the 11-inch, and this feels definitely bigger, obviously. Now, in terms of its selling features, it's got the mini LED display with the 12.9-inch. Like with the other 11-inch, though, it's got the M1 chip, Thunderbolt connectivity, and basically that's about it. But the nice thing is that because of that M1 chip, it is so fast. Now, whether you're actually going to unlock it with iPadOS at its current form is another question, but with WWDC coming round the corner, will we see better integration with Pro applications and how they'll handle third-party plugins? Because for me, I do use third-party plugins quite heavily because, you know, there are certain things that are just easier with a third-party plugin. Now, with it having the Thunderbolt connection, obviously faster connectivity. So will you need to upgrade your storage to 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes? Probably not, thanks to that Thunderbolt connection. But the reason why you may want to upgrade to that 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte model is because with the M1 chip, the base model that I have here with 128 gigabytes only comes with the 8 gigabyte unified memory. Whereas if you upgrade to the 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte storage models, you will actually get 16 gigabytes of unified memory, which is going to just eat through absolutely anything. I mean, on the M1 MacBook Pro with macOS, which is a much heavier operating system than iPadOS, it handles 8 gigabytes, no problems whatsoever. But with 16 gigabytes, obviously on the M1 MacBook Pro or MacBook Air, 16 gigabytes is probably at its best spot, just because then you're not going to be limited in the future. It handles pretty much anything that you throw at it. And yeah, if you're someone who doesn't need that graphical performance, then yeah, the M1 chip is fantastic. But people have been waiting for an M1 chip in an iPad. And if you are a heavy iPad user, this is going to be just answering all your prayers. Now, for my workflow, iPadOS is just too limiting. And for me, I want to try to use this as my dedicated machine. So I'm going to try and edit using this machine, and I'll let you know how that went in the full review. So remember, hit that subscribe button if you want to see a review from someone who doesn't use an iPad. Like, is it worth buying one of these? Because I am a big Mac user. And I think looking at the channel, you guys have probably guessed that. So going for an iPad, like, if I'm completely honest, I wasn't sure if I was actually going to buy an iPad for review, but they put the M1 chip in it. Like, come on, I had to pick one up, because that's a PC, that's a Mac OS chip, and they put it in an iPad. So I want to see how well it works in an iPad, and whether I can ditch my M1 MacBook Air, which I use quite a lot, and go for an M1 iPad Pro. This keyboard definitely, I mean, it's good, it's okay, but I will say that whether it's going to be worth that £329 price tag that I paid for this thing. So just to let you guys know, I paid £1,330 for this entire thing, which is MacBook Pro money, or potentially M1 MacBook Air with 16 gigabytes of unified memory. So would I go for an M1 MacBook Air with 16 gigabytes of unified memory over this thing, even though it might obviously have the 7-core GPU? Yes, I probably would, because I think that the unified memory makes more of a difference than that 1 core of GPU performance. Now, obviously, I will be benchmarking it. I will be doing a review, all of that good stuff. So like I said, just hit that review, hit that subscribe button, not that review button. I wish there was a review button on this one. Just fast forward 2 weeks or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to basically use this as my primary machine, apart from obviously the M1 iMac. I don't know how I'm going to split my time between the two, but I'm going to do my best. But this thing, it's impressive. The white keys look pretty cool. Apple does a fantastic job with the keys, because over time, Apple keys just don't seem to get that grime, and don't seem to wear away the same way that a lot of Windows keys do. Obviously, you will get it, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. Now, this thing, the keyboard itself doesn't have Touch ID. I would have loved to have seen a little Touch ID button just over here, but they didn't include it. But that's fine, that's fine. I mean, we've got, the other sensors to unlock itself, so that's fine. But yeah, would have potentially been nice to see the Touch ID button just over here. In terms of the overall layout, it's identical. It's still USB-C, but with obviously that Thunderbolt connection. The screen looks fine. Again, I need to set this thing up. So this isn't a review. This isn't a test or anything like that. I'm going to see how I get on with this. And yeah, apart from that, that's it for this video. Sorry I've rambled on for a while. It's just I've not used an iPad in so long. And I'll be honest, I'm not a big Apple iPad user. So I will see how I get on with it. But anyway, if you want some videos that I haven't rambled on about, then go ahead, click on one of these 2 videos. You absolutely love them, I promise you. Anyway, look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.